Hello, everybody. For those familiar with the HCM application, you'll find yourself familiar with this homepage. But if you haven't seen it in a while, you'll notice something new, and that's this chat icon in the bottom right. And that, of course, is our chatbot. You'll notice when I open it, it says, "Hello, Curtis," because I'm logged in as an HR specialist named Curtis. And all that happens behind the scenes with being logged into HCM. So this bot knows exactly who I am. It knows my permissions. It knows everybody who I report to, that reports to me, everything about me that's in HCM. It already knows as soon as I open up this bot. This bot can also be in other channels such as Microsoft Teams and SMS, and will also know all this information, but there might be an extra step or two around the authentication. With SMS, you would need to click on a login link. Microsoft Teams, that can be handled in the back end, but there are a lot of options where you can access this bot. Cool thing about this UI, this is the out-of-the-box Oracle UI with almost no customizations. This is what Oracle gives you, and it's a clean-looking UI. It's mobile responsive, just like the HCM page. So all of this can go with you to a mobile website or even your mobile app. The HCM mobile app is the exact same as this homepage. And what we're about to see is the HCM Delivered Skills, so the ones that Oracle provides for HCM, so the ones that they created using all of the powerful tools that HCM has. And there are a lot of different features. I'm only going to show a couple because we'd be here all day if I was going to show everything that this bot can do. So let's get into it. So the first question, let's say I'm an employee who wants to take PTO. So I want to know how much PTO I have left. So how much PTO do I have? And you can see it goes into the system, doesn't need to re-ask me who I am or anything, just figures out how much PTO I have, tells me as of today. And then another helpful link that it sends over is where to schedule time off. Out of the box, Oracle hasn't provided the functionality to schedule a time off through the bot, because that is a more complex process that might be saved better for a form. But it does give you the deep link to go directly to that page, so you don't have to click around HCM looking for where that is, which is extremely helpful for a new employee. So let's say next, I want to ask my boss if it's okay to take off next week. So let's say, what's my boss's email? And this is a very powerful tool as part of HCM. So not only does it know who I am, it knows who my boss is, that's Mitch Blum. It knows where their office is, their email, and their phone number, all based on just this simple little question. And it's way beyond this. You can ask for individual people, you can ask for who reports to you. Really, the sky's the limit for how you can look up other employees and easily connect to them with this directories tool. Our next question is, let's say I want to order some business cards because I know I'm going to be busy when I get back. I'm going to need some more business cards. So it goes through a quick little process here. I need 200 business cards, and I'm going to create the requisition. So this is a little bit of an offshoot from the first two things. So it's only tangentially related to HR, but it's still part of this platform because it's part of the HCM platform. So really, whatever your use cases are, HCM does provide the functionality for that. And usually we recommend not going live with everything that this tool has to offer right away. Usually we try to limit to the most useful use cases right off the bat to get built-in confidence in the product. Make it easy to manage for the team right from the get-go so you can expand and have greater success later. Our last use case I'm going to show you with this is providing feedback for another employee. So I want to provide feedback. And you'll notice I have a little typo there, but with the natural language processing, it's able to recognize deviations from what you would normally expect people to type in. So it's still able to recognize that, hey, I want to provide feedback for another employee. And another way that it's good at extrapolating what you mean is, let's say I don't know the full name of the person you helped me. Let's just say I know their name's David. Using that same directory tool, it can figure out all the Davids in this company, which there's a lot of Davids. There's 24 of them. So I need to figure out which one it is. And you can keep scrolling through all of these Davids until you find the right one. And I know it's David Buckley, so I'm just going to type in 4. David helped me out yesterday. Great work. Who can see the feedback? Manager and David Buckley. And I want to submit that. And simple as that, you're able to provide feedback from your employee, all from one interface that you're also able to look up your boss's email, order business cards, and any number of things. You can all do it from one interface. That doesn't even have to be tied to this one page. Our next demo is around a limited IT support type of demo. So this use case is around deflecting phone calls from an internal IT support ticketing. So only a couple of use cases here, and as you see, when you open the bot, it provides you a couple of buttons. And we don't want our users to get frustrated typing in, hey, what can you do? Can you help me with my PTO? Any number of questions. So we try to direct them towards the limited use cases that you can help with here. In our case here, it's fixing a printer, it's resetting a forgotten password, and submitting a service request, so you can keep your internal team off the phones. You'll notice the UI is very similar. This is just the up-to-date SDK with a couple of small customizations. Took maybe 5 minutes at most to do these small customizations. And that's a great thing about this out-of-the-box UI, is it does provide that ability to make the small customizations very quickly. So if we go into fixing a printer, this is a common question for this specific IT support staff, and they keep having to answer the same questions with the same answers over and over again. So we were able to bring that into an automated bot. If we pick our type of printer and say, hey, it's a printer driver problem, we can get straight to the answer that an IT agent would normally give. This whole conversation is all stored inside of the ODA platform. You're able to do that. But if you wanted to have this interview process inside of another system, Oracle Digital Assistant does integrate seamlessly with Oracle Intelligent Advisor, which, if you're not familiar, it's an interview process for a question and answer type of processes like this. And let's say that didn't fix my problem, and I need more support from IT. I can create a service request directly through a bot here. It's going to ask for a little bit of information, so I don't need to bother any live agents. I can send it across to them. They can handle it on their own time. Printers down, says it's a driver issue. Great, so we forwarded through the ticketing system, and this is just a demo, but in our real world cases, we have to integrate with multiple ticketing systems, integrated with ServiceNow, Oracle Service Cloud, Zendesk, Salesforce, any number of ticketing systems. We've looked at some other ones too. So really that's another great thing about the ODA platform, is that it can integrate with any other third-party system as long as the APIs and the data is there. It's not limited to just other Oracle products. And then also you notice that we did provide a phone number here, because we hate to leave our users hanging. We like to give them the escalation option. So if they do need to get hold of somebody right now, need to print something, it's an emergency, they know, hey, you can call this number and still go back to the old process. Our final demo is a little bit different, as you can see right from the beginning here. And this is an offshoot of what we did in that PeopleSoft integration that Jason was talking about earlier. This isn't actually hooked up with a PeopleSoft environment, but is using the exact same types of conversations and back and forth that we did for that PeopleSoft integration that's currently being used for a real world customer. You'll notice that this UI is very different than the other ones. This is built on the same framework as the other two, but this really shows the power of what you can do with that SDK. So we were able to provide some top menu items that we commonly see. So going straight to a live agent, providing feedback, seeing terms of use, get some additional branding opportunities. So big logo here, and even some buttons in a different manner. So we can start the conversation off in ways that we know that our customers are going to be doing, and then still provide the opportunity to type in a message right from the get-go. Let's start with updating my info. That was one of the biggest asks that we had from that PeopleSoft customer. So we click the button and we go straight into the conversation. We get our nice transitions. It all looks very pretty. And here in our real world example is where we provided a login page. We'd click a link, we would log in with their username and password into PeopleSoft, and they would go right ahead. This isn't hooked up with the PeopleSoft, so we're just going to type in a sample user ID here to get our proper information. So let's type that through. And now it's going into our backend. It is actually hooked up with a backend, just not PeopleSoft. And it's retrieving my information so it knows what I want to update here. So it knows that I am user Antonella Benea. It knows I'm associate software consultant. It knows my address and my phone number. And let's say I need to update my phone number. Let's change that to 920-664-552. So it recognizes that I did type in a phone number. We do lock in these inputs to make sure that they're not typing in what did you have for lunch as a phone number and then put that through. It actually does ensure that you're typing in a phone number. And then you can see when it goes back and gets the data again, we did update that phone number. And we find that's very important to kind of prove it to our users that, hey, this actually did work. We're not just saying, okay, I've updated your phone number and then giving them nothing else. Our final conversation here that I'm going to demo out is going back to the beginning. How much PTO do I have? And you can see I already know who I am because I entered my ID, and it knows how much vacation and sick leave I have. So you can see how we can ask the same types of questions on these different platforms, on PeopleSoft, on HCM, on any number of systems, and get similar answers even though the backends are completely different. And then just like the other one, we do provide the button to request that absence. We like to go to the next logical step to go with their users so they can be helped fully. Thank you, Jason. Back to you.
Great. Thanks, Scott. As I'm going to transfer back over, we did have a question come in. Your demo didn't specifically go through the flow of a benefits type conversation, Scott, but I believe we have some customers that they can look up their benefits information. They can get information on qualifying events or changing that based on qualifying events. Some of those skills are available, as well as just like, some push to when open enrollment is. Can you add any more color around that, Scott?
Yeah, I can reshare my screen here and we can look at that quick. And I haven't demoed this beforehand, so this is purely out of the box Oracle, and usually we need a little bit of customizations because everyone's wording is a little bit different. So let's say, what benefits do I have? And I'm not sure how this is going to respond, so bear with me here. It'll provide the group numbers if you just ask that question. I'm sure if you ask a more specific question, and I'm not sure if you have any more specific questions, Brenda, that you'd want to see. But all of that data that's in here, you can get through the HCM bot, whether out of the box or with a customization. With our live HCM customer, we did several customizations around them. For example, they had their PTO not in the standard PTO module. They had that in a different reporting system. So we had to create an integration to make that work. Even if the out-of-the-box skills gets you 80% of the way there, usually we can get the rest of the 20% there with different customizations. Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Back to you, Jason.